Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a demo. You don't really know you are.
What's up, bookish babes? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kiana, Lashay. If you're new here, I gladly appreciate if you take 1 second, hit the subscribe button and bell right next to it so you can be notified of all my future videos. In today's video, we're going to be going over all the books I read in the month of June. I read a total of 15 books. I feel like every year around this time, June is like the month that I read the most books, and then it's back to like 6 or 7. Like, when it comes to June, I don't know what it is about June. I feel like it's just, well, I feel it may be because the kids are out of school. I don't have to do too much ripping and running, being that I go to work at 12 midnight and get off at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when I get home, I'm home unless I want to go do something. So I feel like that may be the reason. That may be the reason, but who knows? But every June, if you go back to any of my June reading wrap-ups, you'll see that every year I'm reading like 13 to 15 books in the month of June. But we're going to go ahead and go into the ones that I read on my Kindle because, y'all, I read some good books this year. I'm sure this month, well, this year too, but this month I read some pretty good books. I don't think I had many bad reviews on books. Maybe like 2. I wouldn't even say they bad. It's just like I just wasn't as enthralled as I should have been. But we're gonna go ahead to the ones that I read on my Kindle first because I'm gonna pop them up on the screen as always. Now, the ones that I read on my Kindle are mainly part of series, and I do have a video of me reading. I don't think I read the Staten Island love story in the video. I think I just read that off to the side because I wanted to know what was going on, like who those people were, from reading this first series. And the first series I read was Cappadonna. It's the season 2 of Delgado Family. It's by Jahquel J. Y'all, this lady is a master with her pen. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, her books, all the books of hers that I've read. Now, mind you, she's a new author to me this year, so all the books that I've read of hers have been nothing short of amazing. Nothing short of amazing. Like, they have you feeling all the feels. Like, you're mad 1 minute at one of the characters, and then you're kiki kakaing, and then you're crying, and like, it's just so like, y'all, this lady had me locked in June. Like, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about how locked in she had me in June. Now, I first read the Cappadonna 1, 2, and 2.5. I read those. I want to say I gave all of those like a 4.5 stars, y'all. It's about Cappadonna. I read Capone. I don't know when I read him. I feel like I read him in April, May, around that time. That's when I read Capone. That's when I finally dove into her writing because I've seen a lot of girls on Book Talk talking about her. So I read Cappadonna this month, and he's a twin. He's Capone's twin. He was locked up for 15 years for basically not snitching on his brother about something, and he comes home. Now, while he's in jail, he sees this girl that is there visiting another inmate, and he see how, like, he just, I guess, like, instantly fall in love with her or some stuff. Now, mind you, Cappadonna is a Muslim, and he don't eat pork, and he do all the like, he abide by all the Muslim rules, or like, I guess you can say, like, is it rules or traditions or beliefs? It's beliefs. I'm sorry, I had to get my terminology correct. He follows all the Muslim beliefs, and he sees this girl, and he kind of fall in love with her. But on his first, I want to say, like, not even his first day, like 2-3 weeks out of jail, he's driving down the street with Naheem, oh raggedy, and I'm still mad at how Naheem did my girl Capri. Like, that's just some that man will always be on my bad side. But he's riding down the street with Naheem, and he just kind of busts an illegal U-turn and pull over because, mind you, she is pregnant, pushing a laundry cart down the road, and it goes from there with those two. Now, her backstory, Alea's backstory in this book, it's kind of sad. It's not even kind of, it is sad because to have to go through the things that she went through at a very young age, and all the cause of her, at the cause of her brother who was basically money hungry, and he got what he deserved. Her brother got what he deserved, and I don't feel bad for that man. Like, he got exactly what he deserved, and that's crazy. Because for you to do something like that to your sister, and then that the trauma that she went through in her time, like in her life before she got with Cappadonna, is crazy. Like, the trauma, like, y'all, my heart broke so bad for her, because when you think about it, it's people out here that's really going through that. Like, basically, her brother sold her when he was 16 to a 34-year-old man that had multiple wives already. So I'm gonna just put that there, because you kind of find it out on page 1 of Cappadonna book. But the things she went through, like the trauma, and like, you have to really search up like, you really have to search up the trigger warnings for it, that the first part of that book, because y'all, well, her, like, the whole book, because she's basically telling her story throughout the whole book, and it just 4.5 stars. And this is just like a basic overall view of the whole series with him. Like, it's a whole, like, the whole series with him is a 5-star series for me, because the way he loved this girl through her trauma, the way he showed her how it feels to truly be loved, and to how to, like, I don't know how to even really explain it. Like, it just was something beautiful to see her coming out of her shell and becoming the woman that she was to Cappadonna, and the wife and the mother, and all of this. Like, it was just so beautiful to read about. And I felt so bad for her in the beginning, because no one should have to go through that. Like, no one ever should have to be put in the situation that she was put in by her brother. And yeah, so in the midst of me reading those three, they kept mentioning Sky and Carter. They kept mentioning a Sky and Carter, Van Ducci, or Cromwell. And I was like, who is these people and where do they come from? And they kept mentioning and kept mentioning these people and mentioning these people and mentioning these people. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pause at 2.5 and I'm going to go find out who Sky and Carter, and see what their love story is. Like, what took place between them. So they have 3 books. It is a Staten Island love story, book 1 through 3, and it's basically about Sky and Carter. Sky and Carter fathers were best friends, and one day Carter's father ended up getting unalived while Carter's mom was in labor with their sister. And for some reason, the mom blamed blamed Sky dad for this, and was like, it was his fault. Like, everything that transpired was his fault because he don't listen, and so on and so on. So basically, she just up and left in the middle of the night. Now, after getting her side, like, after getting the mom's side of the story, I see why she ended up leaving, but a conversation could have been had. But I feel like a conversation could have been had so that you didn't have to push your kids through the trauma and the stress that you put them through, of leaving all of this money and having them struggle through life to make ends meet, while you were basically being an alcoholic. And, like, y'all, now I understand, like, if I lose the love of my life, like, it's going to do something to me, and then on top of that, find out what she found out. I would have been like, yeah, if that too. But I would have did it in a way that, although my feelings are hurt and I'm hurt deep down, I want to still make sure that my kids are good. Like, she up and left, and while they was gone, Sky dad was like setting up pieces where his best friend kids could still get the money, and, like, he was sending them money, and the mom would burn the envelope full of money, like they didn't need the money, which was crazy to me because I feel like her doing that is a cause of why Carter ended up in jail for, I don't even know what he ended up in jail for because they never said what he did to end up in jail, or I kind of just sped past it. But he ended up getting locked up behind something because he basically was trying to, you know, get money to help his family. And y'all, it was so sad. Okay, I don't think I mentioned what I gave the Staten Island love story. I gave the first book a 3-star. I think I gave the second book a 4-star. Yeah, I gave the second book a 4-star, and then the last book I gave a 4-star as well. So yeah. Then I completed the Cappadonna series, book 3 and 3.5, because for some reason they're broke up into like sections. Some reason they're broke up into sections, but I think she said when she released them in paperback that they won't be broke down like that. So yeah. And then I read Capri. I'm actually reading Capri 1.5 right now. I read the first one, and it's basically you getting her backstory of basically everything she never told her family that was going on in her marriage, and how her moms treat her so much different from how she treat her brothers. And she finds out this big secret that her parents have been keeping. And well, do she find out? Yeah, she finds that out in book 1, and we kind of going into like the process of it in book 1.5. And she basically, I don't know, y'all, I gave Capri book a 5-star. I love Capri. I always loved Capri because she is so smart. She's a lawyer, and basically she is just the type of person that is so kind-hearted and a bit of a people pleaser. She'll put everybody before herself before she actually sits and take care of herself first. And she ends up taking this 1-year traveling stint where I guess like the eat, love, pray type vibes, where she basically leaves for a whole year and learns to love herself and learn to be able to be alone without always needing someone around. And I really don't like her ex-husband, because now when I first read the book with him, I was like, okay, cool. Like he's now this before he opened his mouth. This is before he opened his mouth. I was like, cause you see each of these characters throughout the entire series, from Capone to Cappadonna and then now Capri, and I'm pretty sure Quasim books you're going to see them there, and then you kind of get like a sneak, like a smidget of them in a Staten Island love story. You kind of get a smidget of them in there, but y'all, I gave her book a 5-star. I love Capri. I just do not like her ex-husband. I don't like how he made her feel. And the things that she ended up going through with some of the men that she was dating in her life, it just was, I felt bad for my girl. I felt bad for her because I just, like, she is, Capri is just so lovable and so sweet and so kind that it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's all the books that I read on my Kindle. Yeah, those are all the books that I read on my Kindle. Now I'm gonna go. All right, so let's get into the physical copies that I read in June. We're gonna first start off with Love Radio. I've been putting this book off for the longest time. I don't know why or what it was that had me putting this book off for so long. It's not that I was scared to read it. I don't know. I feel like it maybe wasn't the time for me to read it until I finally read it this month. Now, I watched the show Forever on Netflix. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure everybody know what I'm talking about. And this book reminds me so much of that show, like to the T. And like it was crazy at how much it reminded me of that show. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book a 4.5. The story, the love, like all of that, I absolutely ate this book up. I hate that I took forever to read it. But yes, we have this a 4.5. Now, The next book on the list was The Block Party by Jamie Day. It's basically about these resident that lives in this exclusive cul-de-sac on Alden Road, and someone ended up getting unalived, and they're basically trying to find out who did it, and it just basically about everybody on that road had some type of secret. You have one lady who was suspected of unaliving her husband on a cruise ship. Then you have this, like, it's just a whole bunch of secrets in a web of scandals going on that road. And this lady thought her husband was cheating on her with their new next door neighbor, but to come to find out, it was something so much deeper than that. Like, it wasn't that he was cheating on her, it was something so much deeper than that. I gave this book a 3.5, a 3 star, 3.5, I don't know. I enjoyed it for the most part, but it was just like very long and dragged out, because you get the point of view of the mother and the daughter in this book. And basically, the daughter is telling the sides for the kids, and then the mom, you're getting what's going on with the adult point of view from her side of the story, and how she's becoming this alcoholic, and she's I think the marriage, not a counselor, like is it like a divorce attorney? I think she's like a divorce attorney. But anyways, like I was saying, I gave that book a 3.5. The next book I read was Alex Feeney, Good Bad Girl. This is basically about this lady whose child got stolen, and a lady who was murdered. I can't even really explain this book to y'all, because it started off from like the end, where this lady daughter ends up getting kidnapped from a stroller, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on in this book. I think I gave this book a 3 stars. I just don't think Alex Feeney writing is for me, so I feel like this may be my last book purchasing and reading from her. I may even give away the books that I have of hers, but I don't know, y'all. Y'all know my book quarter, and I have to find the other books that I have of hers. So, yeah. Then I picked up Freida McFadden, The Tenant. Y'all, I love Freida McFadden, right? Like, I haven't read a book of hers that I had. Well, that's a lie. Like I was saying, that is a lie. I did not like the third, Housemaid is Watching. Was it that one? The Housemaid is the Housemaid's Secret. The housemaid, yeah, the housemaid is watching. I did not like that book. I just could not, for the life of me, get into that book. But this one was so good. It's basically about this wife and husband who were going through hard time, and they end up getting a tenant to move into one of their spare bedrooms. And the way the story is told, it was like the man got mad because the tenant, Whitney, was using all of his stuff and eating all his favorite cereals, even though he told her like she could, but then she ate it all and he got upset, so he said something to her, and then all of a sudden Whitney started doing all this crazy stuff to him, and like she started doing so much weird things, and I just was like, why was she? I think if you watch the video of me reading this book, you would see where I was like, why is she so mad? Because he said something to her. Like, he didn't even come off at her rude. I was very much confused, befuzzled as to why she was so triggered or traumatized by what he said to her. But when you keep reading, you find out what was really going on, and then you understand. Like, then I fully understood exactly why she took it the way she took it. So yeah, do with that as you may. I gave that book a 4 star. I really enjoyed that book. That was a good book. The Tenant by Freida McFadden. And then I read a novel love story by Ashley Poston. She always have some type of magic realism in her books, and this one is no different from, I read, what was it? I read The Dead Romantics, and then I read, what was the other book of hers? What's The 7-Year Slip. I read that by her as well, and she just released a new book, I think at The Sounds of Love. I think The Sounds of Love or something like that. She just released this one, but this one is about this girl who really loved reading books. You know, she's one of us. And one day she's like going through this traumatic breakup, and all her friends are basically life still moving on, and they usually go on this little reading retreat at this cabin up in the hills or something like that, where they basically just sit down and read their favorite books. And this year they couldn't come, so she ends up going by herself, but she ends up going and getting stuck in her favorite book world. And I don't know, like, I really enjoyed the crap out of this book. I gave this book a 4 stars. It was really good. I love Ashton Moser writing and how she kind of adds some type of whimsical, magical feels to all of her books. Her writing is amazing. And yeah, so we gave this a 4 stars. Truly enjoyed it. Then last but not least, I read All In by Jennifer Lamborn, which is like the 3rd book in the Natural series. And y'all, the ending of this book had me ready to dive into Bad Blood to see exactly what was going on, because it's no way in my life that reading the first 2 books and finding out what was going on with how her mom and her having these natural abilities to basically detect, like, I don't know, to figure out the unsubs and stuff like that, because they get hired by the FBI. It's 7 of them, I think. Is it 7 or 6? It's 6 of them, I believe. I can't remember. But this one is like, I don't know, like, you get the unsub point of view, you get the backstory of what's going on basically with each of the characters and how their life, like, what's going on in their life at the time. Like, it's just so good. I gave that book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed the Natural series so much because it gives me this criminal mind fix, because I watched every single episode on Criminal Minds multiple times, and that book just scratches the itch in my brain. I can't wait to read Bad Blood so that we can wrap up that series. But those are all the books I read in the month of June. Let me know if you read any of these books. If you have, what's your thoughts on them? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Am I really that much?